It's Ian with Meika's Birdhouse here, and I'm just introducing Totally Organics pellets that are available here at Meika's Birdhouse in Sherwood Park. You want to get a hold of us, it's meikasbirdhouse.com, or you can reach me at the store, 780-416-4435.
It's Meika's Safehouse on the Pet Channel on TVU with Ian Sprague. How you doing, Ian?
I'm doing great, James. How about yourself?
Fantastic. And what's on the go today?
Well, today I just thought, I had visions in my head of doing this from one of the aviaries, but it was kind of wet and dreary, so I thought, you know what, we'll switch to plan B, and we will come back into the office and we'll just talk about some common household dangers that these guys face. That a lot of stuff that we don't think of that right off the get-go, but there's a couple things that we should be looking at right off the get-go. When you walk into a house, as you start thinking about the house plants that are in there. A lot of the house plants that we enjoy and that green up our lives pretty good. Some of these things are like philodendron, I think, is one of them. Almost everybody's got one in their house or something, but they're toxic to these guys. So if the parrots start eating them, it not necessarily will be a problem, but it could become a problem. It depends, of course, it's going to depend on how much they eat and all that other kind of neat jazz, but it's not good. So anybody who has a bird can stop by Meika's or email me, and I will give them the list of common household toxins and poisons, which shows basically all plants. All these plants are potentially dangerous for your bird. But if anybody wants to get a hold of me, it's just Ian at meikasbirdhouse.com, and I will gladly email you this. It's just a good reference sheet. Some of the other things that we have that in our houses are just our everyday cleaners. Same thing as your children. You got to watch out bleach, ammonia, some of the more harsh chemical cleaners, especially if they have a scent to them. I like to think about Febreze and things like that. It's supposed to kill an odor, but at the same time, it's awfully toxic to these guys with really sensitive lungs. Mm. I guess maybe before I go too far into that, I should explain to why it's so toxic for these guys. These guys don't have lungs like you and I. They have air sacs, so they actually have, for lack of a better word, it's like 4 lungs, right? So when they breathe, they're using every bit of that breath, and that's because they have such a high metabolism. They need to fly. It takes a lot of energy. They need to be able to process that kind of oxygen. So when there's toxins in the air, it goes right into them. So we need to be really kind of vigilant about that. So we really don't want to be spraying air fresheners. We really don't want to be using Febreze or some of these scented things, that you can buy in a grocery store. You can get, the potpourri bags and all that is just fine. That's no problem. But some of these more synthetic, these more synthetic chemicals, you don't want to have them around. So when we're cleaning here and at the aviary at home, we use usually just vinegar and water. Nice solution of that. When we're outside, we'll use it like a 10% bleach solution on some of the purchase. And then we have another product that we have here at the store. It's called Naturama. This is a really good disinfectant. You can also use it as a hand sanitizer in our COVID times. It kills 99% of what do they call it? 90% of whatever viruses and, and germs, I guess.
Germs.
So it's a good option and it's really good cleaner. It's a quick cleaner. It's good for getting things off that. So when it comes to the cleaners, that's kind of the long and short of that. The other things that we have in our house are just our cooking stuff, right? So if you move into the kitchen, where everything's dangerous in there, hot stove sharp knives and all that. With our frying pans, a lot of those have that non-stick coating, Teflon, and Teflon is super toxic to these guys. when if you overheat it. It'll off gas, and a lot of we see it quite a bit where somebody's accidentally left a frying pan on the stove, boiled all the water out of it, or whatever's happened, and it's off gas, and they look around their house and all their birds are down. You know, it's a quick.
It's that effective on them. Wow.
Oh yeah, it's well the canary in the coal mine type of situation. Hopefully, you know, if you have a parrot and you're going to have those kind of frying pans, you know, open window, hood, exhaust, and it all comes down to parts per million, really, right? So if that pan overheats and you have a really big space, it's going to take longer to affect them. Open the windows, get the doors open, you know, and hopefully we can, you know, flood it with fresh air, you know, and hopefully that's all you need to do. But it is a real scary thing when that happens. And really, some of the most dangerous things that we have for these guys are in our bathrooms. They get into a toilet bowl. They're not helicopters. They can't go straight up. So if they go into a toilet bowl, they could drown in there. You know, and never mind the cleaners and all the other kind of stuff that live in our bathroom. Right? There's lots of potentially dangerous things in our homes, but those are like the worst ones right off the top of my head. A lot of times people will ask me about essential oils and that kind of thing. They're controversial. They may or may not be dangerous. I always just prefer to stay away from them, just because I don't know enough. I don't pretend to know enough. I'll just avoid it.
I hear you. This Zazu.
This is Zazu, yeah.
Very interesting. He's very interested in the conversation.
Yeah, and I don't know if I told you. Did you guys meet Zazu before? I can't recall. Zazu is a sun parakeet or sun conure. These guys are well, you can just tell by the looks of them how obviously gorgeous they are. Very highly desired in the pet industry. We were at a conference last year, and they had just come back from doing the bird count, basically the wild bird count, trying to figure out how many of these guys are in their native habitats. And in Ecuador, trying to get not Ecuador, sorry, wrong side, Venezuela. They went into an area which was well known for these guys, these sun parakeets, and they were expecting to count thousands of birds. And what happened is once they got there, they got to the spot where they set up for about 2 weeks in the jungle counting these birds, and they came up with 124 individuals.
Wow.
Yeah, and again, they're cursed by their own beauty. They are well sought after in the pet trade. A lot of those birds would not be going necessarily. They're being poached out of the wild, obviously, but they're not being poached to come to North America or anything. They're being poached for local use, right? So a lot of the people that are living there, not necessarily the indigenous people, or just whoever the people who are living in Venezuela, want to have a sun parakeet. They just go get the eggs, and there's not an organized at this point. There's not an organized conservation program for them. The plan is from the American Bird Conservancy. They are going to start one and I'm sure it's already well underway since I talked to them last. But yeah, it was quite a shock to everybody when they got those numbers back.
So get them while they last. So what is Zazu a house pet, or is Zazu available to adopt?
No, Zazu is available for adoption. Very nice bird, but like you can see, he doesn't leave very easily. Once Zazu's on your shoulder, you happy to stay there.
Yeah, he's there for a visit for sure.
Yeah.
It's very interesting, very intelligent bird, and
absolutely.
Now you had an update So we're gonna run the
right.
last week we were talking about the baby lovebirds. So
Yeah.
we're gonna run the video, and then when we come back, you can tell me what we saw.
June 13th. We're just doing a quick update on these guys. Look at the yellow coming out. This little guy here. He's so excited to eat it, he's going to try to eat a finger. And then these guys are pretty much fledged. These guys are just starting to fledge now. Should be another week or so and they should be eating on their own. Hey there, it's Ian with Meika's Safehouse. I thought we'd do a quick video for TVU's pet channel. And this is just Janine feeding these little baby lovebirds that we talked about this morning. It is June the 8th. So we're going to do a few videos and you can watch these guys develop as they get a little bit older. Just going to do a quick little blurb. There's, how many of them?
8.
There's 8 of these little guys.
Wait. No, 7.
7 of these guys.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
These fellas here are 3 weeks older than these guys here. And then just voracious little eaters. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
They have to hold their little heads so that they
Yeah, so they don't make too much of a mess.
they're all over the place.
Yeah. Alright. Well, that's it for us, guys. Thanks for watching. Scene with Meika's Birdhouse. You are watching the Pet Channel here on TVU. Yeah. So basically, it's just a couple segments. I took one the same day that we did our last episode with the lovebirds, just so you can see their development. And then I took another video on the 13th, on Saturday, just so you can see how fast these guys develop and change. It's amazing. And I'll before we do this again next week, I'll send you a couple more videos, and you'll be able to see that they don't even look like the same birds anymore. They grow and change so rapidly. The little green guys that you saw are basically to the point now where they're only eating via syringe 3 times a day. Everything else they're getting is they're taking it in by themselves. They're starting to refuse food from us, which is great. That means a lot less work for me, but but yeah, no, so it's good. They're starting. There's a lot of wing flapping going on now, so they're holding on to the side of the cage, or holding on to their perches, and they're flapping like that. They're building those chest muscles up, and it'll so by next week, I'm sure we're going to be seeing some maiden flights, which are always interesting to watch.
So when will they go outside?
I don't know. We'll try to get them in the aviaries probably in the next once they fully fledged. Once they're flying competently in the house, then we'll get them.
Okay.
Let's see how they do with open air.
Yes. Well, and fresh air
Totally
and the
different
sounds.
environment.
Yeah.
And just wind currents and how to adjust and it's interesting to watch. And then those little yellow fellas, they are they're still very babyish, but they're definitely you're going to know what colors they are now.
Yeah. No, it was very insightful to see, because we're seeing you in your store role, right? And but to see you in the care of the birds was interesting. It's definitely interesting.
Yeah, like I said, I'm hoping we get some. Well, I could have done it today now that I look at it, but if we get some video from at when they're outside in the aviaries and see them playing in the trees and stuff like that.
Yeah, no, it's and we're all looking forward to it. So, anything else for this week?
No, I think that's got her, James.
That's it. Meika's Safehouse with Ian Sprague on the Pet Channel, only on TVU.
See you next week. This is showing off a foraging toy from for your parrots. You can find this exclusively at Meika's Birdhouse in Sherwood Park. 780-416-4435.